Norristown. This is Ed Roth, the principal of the Norristown Area High School, and I am sending this to you with nothing but warm wishes for you and your family. I hope that everyone is happy and healthy, and I hope that you're finding things to do together as a family during this time where we're all cooped inside. I'd also like to start by thanking each and every one of you for staying connected to us, for all of your well wishes to me, my family, to your teachers and their families, and to the extended Norristown community. Together, we're going to get through this crazy time, and at the end of it, we'll all be a little stronger. I also want to make sure that I encourage each and every one of you to continue to be safe. I know that it's really hard for us to stay inside. I know it's hard for us not to go about our daily routines, but it is vitally important in order for us to return to normal that we stay inside, stay with our immediate family, and do everything we can to protect everyone in our community. With that, I want to move on to a message about grading and the end of the third marking period. The third marking period will end on Wednesday, April 1st. And no, that is not an April Fool's joke. The marking period will end based only on work that was due on or before March 12th. That was the last day that we were in school. So any assignment or assessment that was due on or before that date will be counted towards your grade for the third marking period. All work that was done from March 13th to April 3rd was optional. So the work that you've been doing through Schoology, through Google Classroom, or through other assignments your teachers have done is optional. Many of your teachers have decided to give extra credit for those assignments. That decision is up to your individual teachers. If you are missing work from the third marking period from on or before March 12th, you have the ability to turn in late work. You can turn that work in electronically to your teachers now, and you can turn that work in so that it can be included in your grade for the third marking period. We will make your report cards available online on or before April 6th. That is next Friday. Those grades will be taken from your teacher's gradebook based on work that, again, was due on or before March 12th and that you completed. If you have work that you need to make up, but you're not sure how to do it, for example, a chemistry lab, and you might not have a chemistry set at your house, reach out to your teacher, and your teacher will work with you on those assignments. Or if there are tests that you needed to make up, but you can't do it at home, reach out to your individual teacher, and they will work with you on those assignments. Also, if there are assignments that you are not able to do prior to April 1st, we do understand, and we will give some leniency for assignments that are turned in after April 1st. That leniency will end May 1st. If you and or your parents do not have access to the Home Access Center, and therefore you would not be able to see your report card when it is released on or before April 6th, please contact your counselor via email. We will make sure that we get you that information. Paper report cards will not be mailed home. We will still have a spring break, even though it kind of feels like we're on spring break already. Spring break will be from April 6th to April 10th, just as it was regularly scheduled. There will be no new assignments posted by your teachers during that time, and you should not expect to get immediate feedback or responses from any school staff during that week. The new marking period, the fourth marking period, will begin on April 13th. That is the Monday that we come back from spring break, and it will be different than it has been. You will begin new learning on April 13th, and the assignments will no longer be optional. They will be mandatory for you to complete. They will be graded, and failure to do so will reflect negatively on your fourth quarter report card. On the contrary, doing the work will give you a good grade for the fourth marking period. Again, we are supposed to return to school on April 13th. I hope that happens. There's also a pretty good chance that it may not. And so if it does not, here's our plan for the fourth marking period. Every class will have assignments posted online every week. You will have 2 lessons and a minimum of 5 assignments per week per course. So you should expect to do 1 assignment per course per day, and at least twice during the week you will get 2 new lessons from your teachers. All of this work can be found through Schoology. I know that there are some of your teachers who use Google Classroom more than they use Schoology. Those teachers will still have an introduction and a link to the Google Classroom work on Schoology. That way it's one-stop shopping for everyone. If you do not already have the app for Schoology on your phone, I highly recommend it. It is probably the quickest way for you to get immediate updates from your teachers and from the school. Plus, for those of you who might not have your Chromebooks at home, you can do many of the things that you're being asked to do right for your iPhone or Samsung Schoology app. All work that is assigned in the fourth marking period, virtually, online, will be graded for completion and effort. We know that learning this way is not the same as if you were in school with your talented teachers. We know that sometimes it's harder for things to click when you're at home. So, we're going to grade you for completion and effort. If you try your best, you will get a good grade. Every assignment is going to count for 1 point per day it is assigned. So if it is a simple assignment that should take 15 minutes, if you try your best on that assignment, you will get a 1 out of 1 for that assignment. If it's a longer assignment, like an essay that's being assigned for 3 days, it will be worth 3 points, as every assignment will be worth 1 point per day your teachers give you to do it. If you try your hardest on that essay, you will get a 3 out of 3. However, if you turn in 1 paragraph when your teachers wanted 3 pages, you will get a 0. Again, we're grading on completion and effort, and that does mean giving it an honest try and reaching out to your teachers for help when you stumble. We do know that many of our students need additional supports. Students who receive supports for special education, for gifted services, and students who have 504 plans or are English language learners will continue to try to get as much support as we can provide in this virtual environment. Special education case managers will be in touch with all students and families, as will our gifted teachers. The EL department is working hard to try to make sure that our English language learners are able to get the same experience as everyone else. All of your teachers are going to have 2 hours per day of office hours. We will compile those hours for you, and we will post them on the school district's website. We will also put them to you in an email and post them on Schoology. At those times, you can reach out to your teachers for individual help, and you know that at least those 2 hours of the day they will be available. Those hours will fluctuate by teacher, as just like the rest of us, your teachers are working hard to try to manage not just educating you, but often educating their own kids at home. Plus, we all know there's a few more distractions at home than there are when we're in school. Again, every assignment you're being asked to do is worth 1 point per day it is assigned. Most of your classes will not have final exams this year. There may be a few classes where it is really important for us to get some information about what you do and do not know when the year comes to a close, but for most of your classes, you will not have a final exam, and that will not change if we come back, even if it is on April 13th. Your fourth quarter grades will be an average of all assignments you've been asked to do. So if we are in the virtual learning environment for 25 days and you've done 20 out of the 25 assignments, then you will get an 80%. If that doesn't make sense to you, please email your math teacher. If we do return to school on April 13th or after that, then we will begin to grade you normally. So if we return to school after spring break, then everything I'm telling you right now may go right out the window. If we return to school on, say, May 1st, we will grade you, as I've described, from April 13th to May 1st. If we need to modify our grading practices upon a return to school, we will communicate that separately. Again, your final exams will not come back even if we return. There may be some courses where we ask you to take a final exam. Those exams will be modified and will be used to help teach you next year. Since most classes will not have a final exam, we are going to have to change how we calculate your final grade. Typically, you get 20% for each marking period, 10% for your midterm, and 10% for your final exam. Now, it will look like this. Each marking period will be worth 22% of your final grade, and your midterm exam will be worth 12% of your final grade. Again, if you are not taking a final exam, all of your quarters, all 4 marking periods, will be 22%, and the midterm will be 12%. We do know that there are some Eagles who are without technology at this time. We're going to be trying to reach out to each and every one of you who we are not aware has logged in at this point. We know that for some of you, it is because your Chromebooks are locked in the school. And unfortunately, at this time, we do not have an answer of when we can try to get you those supplies that you need that may be in your locker or somewhere else in the school building. We also know that some of you do not have internet at home, and while we will continue to explore getting out additional hotspots, we also know that some people are going to need paper and pencil assignments, and we are working to put those packets together as we speak. I really thank our department chairs and all of our teachers in our departments for putting those assignments together as quickly as possible. If you are doing paper and pencil assignments, then they are going to be rather generic. In other words, if you're in U.S. history, you might be asked to complete an assignment that comes from world cultures or comes from government and law. We are not able to provide individual course assignments for every student. That would just quite simply be a logistical nightmare, and we want to make sure we get these materials out to you as fast as possible. We are still working as a district to determine where these materials will be picked up and dropped off, and you will hear that information either from myself or from someone at Central Administration, such as Superintendent Dormer. The most likely scenario is that wherever you pick up your assignments, you will then drop them off in that same location 2 weeks later when you pick up the next 2 weeks worth of work. Also, we are working with our EL department to make sure that packets are available in Spanish. And again, these packets are only for those without technology. We are going to do everything we can to make these packets as valuable as possible, and you must complete them if you do not have technology in order to keep up with your grades. But we realistically know that there is a big difference between getting generic assignments or the course-specific, teacher-specific assignments that are being given through Schoology. And therefore, everyone with technology is expected to keep up with the work that's posted online. And we will continue to try to find ways to get those of you who are not online as soon as possible. We also know that some of our students in our full-time autistic support and life skills classes need really individualized instruction. And so those teachers are going to work to put together special materials for those students. I know that a lot of you have a lot of questions about events, concerts, sports. And first, let me tell you, it absolutely breaks my heart that we have not been able to enjoy some of the great after-school activities that go on a daily basis at the Norristown Area High School. I know that we have a lot of students who are looking forward to spring concerts. We have a lot of spring athletes who are looking forward to getting on the field this spring, and especially for you seniors, the uncertainty as to whether or not you have already played in your last game or in your last concert is kind of heartbreaking. I don't know what the future holds. And for some of these things, the answers may be outside of what we are able to determine. In other words, for athletes, that we are going to have to follow PIAA guidance. I'll work with Mr. Palladino to make sure that we are up to date with our league and state guidelines. For the music department, for our concerts, for our drama club, those of you looking to get back on stage, we're going to have to make those determinations once we know if and when we are returning to school. I want to give you every opportunity to have a normal school year as possible. With that in mind, some of our events may need to be canceled. I don't know which ones yet, but I promise you, as soon as we get an idea of if and when we can return to school, we'll begin working on those details. I also know that there are 2 events that are more important than all others: the senior prom and graduation. I don't know what's going to happen with the senior prom. We are working to communicate with the venue to see what their guidance is going to be, and we are starting to work on contingency plans if we need them. Right now, it's a whole lot of waiting to see what happens, but I know that you have waited your entire lives to have a senior prom, and I promise you, we will do everything possible to make sure that happens. The same thing happens with graduation. We want to see you walk across that stage and graduate. I hope we're back in school by June. I know that the date of graduation is going to be June 11th, but what that looks like, we don't know yet. But we are going to do everything possible to have that look like a normal graduation where we can come together as the Norristown Area High School Eagles family that we are and to celebrate your accomplishments. Of course, that means you keeping up your end of the bargain, not letting the other virus, senioritis, take over so that you don't graduate. We want to make sure that you do everything possible to make sure that you are able to accept your diploma in June, hopefully walking across that stage. Seniors, I'll let you know more information as soon as we have it. I know this is a trying time for all of us, and I know that our school counselors work with many of you on a regular basis, and they are still available to work with you. Also, some of you maybe have never worked with your school counselor, but you need to now, whether it's because you need academic guidance or because you just don't know how to handle what's going on. I also know realistically that for some people, being at home all the time is not the ideal scenario. If you are in an unsafe situation, we encourage you to reach out to us, to resources that are posted on social media through the county, or in the worst of situations, to call 911. There's a lot of people who want to help you. So please reach out to us if we can help you. And we're going to post a schedule for your counselors as to when they're available. And if you need help, but it's not your counselor's office hours, you can contact your counselor or the counselor who's on call at that time. We're all a good team here. I've got a great group of counselors that I get to work with on a daily basis. And trust me, they really want to help each and every one of you. I know that for some you have technology at home, but you need help with it. Maybe the Chromebook won't fire up the way it's supposed to. Maybe you're having trouble logging into Schoology. We will get more information out as to what that help looks like. But for now, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out through your teachers or through your counselors, and we will work with our IT department to get you the answers that you need. I have to thank the IT department. They have been absolutely amazing in kicking things into high gear. Plus, all of the work that they've done building up to the one-to-one at the high school is really paying off for us now, as we're able to offer things that we would not have been able to offer even last year if this happened. I encourage all of you to do two things when it comes to social media. One, get off it. But two, when you are on it, make sure that you're looking for school district information through accounts such as mine, NAHS Principal, on Twitter or on Instagram. The high school Facebook page is also fired back up, thanks to Mr. Doyle for helping with that. And there are plenty of other school accounts where teachers and others are trying to keep in touch and give you up-to-date information. So please, give us a follow on Twitter and on Instagram. Yes, we're trying to put out some fun, silly stuff to keep you engaged in school, but we're also pushing out important information as soon as we get it. The last thing that I want to tell you is that while it's really easy to slip into bad habits when you don't have to wake up at the same time every day, it doesn't matter when you go to bed maybe, it's important to have a routine. Every single one of us functions better when we have a routine. Yes, there are nights where I'd love to just stay up until 1 in the morning watching all the movies that I, quite frankly, haven't had the time to watch in the last, 10 years. But I also know that if I stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning every night, it's going to be hard for me to function during the day. So I don't really care what time it is. You can work that out with your parents. But work out a consistent bedtime and work out a consistent waking time. So that way you can get your body in a schedule, because you're going to be much healthier that way. Don't forget to eat breakfast. Don't forget to eat lunch. And don't forget to eat dinner. And work in some physical activity. Whether it's a walk around the block, a workout in a spare bedroom, whatever you need to do to get some physical activity in, don't let this be a time where you're locked in your house becoming unhealthy. We know there's a lot of viruses going around, the coronavirus, the flu, you name it, and the healthier your body is, the more that you're going to be able to fight these things off. Plus, even if you're not worried about being sick, your loved ones in your home, you don't want to get them sick either. Finally, we miss you. I know that sometimes when we're in school, just like any family, we can wear on each other a little bit. I get it. But with all this time away, I can speak very matter-of-factly for each and every one of your teachers, staff members, counselors, nurses, assistant principals. We miss you. We hope that you are doing well through this trying time. If there are things that you need help with that have nothing to do with school and you don't know where to turn, reach out to us. We might not have the answers, but I promise you that we'll try. I don't say this lightly. I love you all. We love you all. We look forward to coming back together as the Norristown Area High School family that we are. And until then, keep in touch. I hope you all do well. I hope that you all stay healthy. I hope that you all log into Schoology to get those assignments done. And if I can do anything for you, email me or reach out on social media. Thank you, and I sincerely hope to see you all again soon.